Good morning, Salt Lake City. Welcome to the PrepperCon radio hour here on K-Talk, KTKK. Today we are talking about our third mission of PrepperCon, Survival. In the studio, of course, we have me, Shane, the preparedguy.com, as well as Scott, the founder of PrepperCon, and both my good buddies, and my other good buddy, Dan Whiting of Live Life Survival. He is our guest for today. We're going to be talking about survival, and in particular, wilderness survival. There are a lot of different aspects of survival, but we're going to talk about wilderness survival.
This is actually a really fun topic for me. This is what got me into prepping. And when I was 13, I read My Side of the Mountain and joined Boy Scouts when I was 12. And I was like, I am moving to the woods. This is my new life. Unfortunately, my mom stopped me. Well, probably fortunately, my mom stopped me. But I was like ready to go. And so I got into shelter building and snares. And the one thing I need to get better at is foraging. You know, understanding wild edibles. And so I'm excited that you're here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, Dan.
Thanks, guys. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, introduce yourself real quick, and then we'll jump away. We've got a few other things you want to talk about before we start talking about survival. And you've got a top 10 list that we're going to talk about.
That's right. I have a top 10 list.
All right. Well, I want to do a little intro on Dan. Dan and I met, I think it was 9th grade, right?
Wait a second. We should maybe we should have written this down first before you.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. We're not going to embarrass. So anyway, Dan and I got started on this path many, many years ago. I'm going to try and keep this brief because time goes very quickly. And we're brothers of another mother.
We are brothers of another mother.
And kind of like Scott too. When Scott and I first met.
Oh, geez. Thanks, buddy.
He's another brother of mine. Anyway.
Does that make us brothers?
So our background.
Somehow.
Yes.
I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, Dan at our last PrepperCon taught some classes, very popular classes on shelter building, fire building, so forth. Anyway, we'll get into that later. But Dan and I ended up being climbing buddies in high school and adventuring buddies, and we still are one of those friends who don't talk an awful lot, but are still BFFs, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it seems like, we catch up wherever we left off. We catch up and just keep going. It's fun.
And we've kind of both stayed on a similar track. Dan is a more survivalist. Is that what you consider yourself, Dan, a survivalist?
I guess so. I'm not really sure how to describe it. I think survivalist might be the best term for it, but I don't know. I just really enjoy nature, but not on like I like to participate with nature. Mm-hmm. Like I want to know everything about it. Like why, you know what I mean? Like I'm comfortable sitting in one spot and just hanging out there for hours and hours, just
enjoying and
watching
taking
things,
it in.
So.
Awesome. Yeah, we're getting off track here. So
all right, sorry.
We need to. No, I know. When Dan and I get together, we literally talk for hours.
Well, the fun thing is for those of you listening in, Shane and I swapped spots today. Shane's actually running the controls today, so he's going to be leading most of the conversation. Plus, it's kind of fun for me to hear the banter between Dan and Shane today. We're going to have a lot of fun, but before we jump into our deep conversation,
yes.
Right, I want to tell you guys about a little something that we're also working on. We're supporting here at K-Talk. PrepperCon is supporting it. Prepared Guy is supporting it. Our friends over at Bug Out Run are supporting it. But this is Operation Underground Railroad. We've got a fundraiser coming up December 4th at Bountiful High School, where we're going to have our Attorney General, Sean Reyes, the founder of Operation Underground Railroad, Tim Ballard, and a choir, a children's choir, is children's one-voice choir. These guys were featured on America's Got Talent, and they went pretty far. Amazing choir, and they're going to be concluding the event, but it's a fundraiser event. We've got 900 seats to come listen to these guys speak and listen to these kids sing. All of the proceeds, all the money that we're bringing in goes to rescue kids from child sex trafficking. And we're also kind of jumped online just last night with a crazy idea. I don't know, Shane, if you've seen that yet, but I posted a video last night.
Mm-hmm. I did see that, yeah.
It's hashtag OUR challenge, just capitalized OUR
kind of like
challenge.
the ice bucket.
It's like the ice bucket challenge, the ALS ice bucket challenge. You know, we feel like more people need to be aware of what's going on. There are over 2.5 million children in the sex traffic trade. These are kids that are either sold into it or abducted, but they're drugged, and it's just horrible. You know, you think of you maybe had a frustrating day. Well, now take it to the next level and pretend you're a slave. Pretend you're a kid that should be out playing or should be out learning, and you're sold into the sex traffic ring by maybe an uncle or an aunt or someone close to you.
Absolutely horrible.
It's disgusting. It's horrible, and it needs to stop. Well, we're doing this challenge, and I'm going to actually challenge all you listeners. I'm going to put it on our Facebook page. Go to the facebook.com/KTalk. Get on the page, look at the video, and I want you to do your own challenge. We're trying to raise money. The whole idea is to donate, you know, at least $10. Skip a meal if you have to. Put that $10 in there. Donate that now. Nominate 3 to 5 people. It's not that hard. And then break the tape or break the chain figuratively. Get on there, get in there, get activated. We've also got some other fun stuff coming up. Actually, on Thanksgiving morning, we've got a big workout that's going to be coming up. It's at the sports complex in Kaysville.
Now, the fundraiser is basically a silent auction. There's other
there's a lot of
to it
stuff.
as well.
So there's the workout on the 28th, or on Thanksgiving. That is going to be at the sports complex. It's like $10 per person or $15 per couple, and it's all the money goes to OUR. Then we've got the silent auction and the fundraiser on the 4th, December 4th, where you get to have the speakers and everything else. We'll be selling t-shirts. We've got companies that are going to be sponsoring the event, so you'll see their banners as well. If you've got a company you want to get involved, you know, go to the Facebook page and contact us.
Exactly, or you can contact me at preparedguy.com or on Facebook or Scott on Facebook at preppercon.com and come in as a corporate sponsor. Also, if you're not sure you want to donate, you should at least come to the fundraiser. From what I understand, it's just amazing. It will probably make you cry. It'll make you...
I heard these guys speak 2 weeks ago, and I was choked up half the time.
Yeah.
It's real, people. This is something you need to be very aware of, and it's something that affects Utah. They actually had a ring busted this summer. They put 8 guys in jail.
Wow.
They've had a 100% success rate of putting people behind bars because they videotape the sting.
Yeah, exactly. You should jump online and go to OUR. These are actual, I guess, ex-military people, professionals that actually go in with their guns, with security, and do stings and so forth, and save these kids.
Yeah, it's not. They don't go in with their guns ablazing. What they do is they go in as undercover operatives. These are former CIA guys, former Navy SEAL guys, you know, special forces. Really, really cool people, right? People who want to make a difference. You know, even Attorney Sean Reyes, he went in and did this as well. But they go in, they work with the local law enforcement to train them on what they need to do, get them prepared on how to do it. Set up all the cameras, the hidden cameras, to videotape the buy, right? This fake purchase of these kids.
So they still do it legally. They try and get
So they absolutely work with all the appropriate law enforcement officers in the states and the countries, and everywhere they go, they work with the right agencies. But it's successful. I mean, look at Colombia alone. I mean, it's a huge problem there. These guys went in, and after 6 months after their first sting, there still wasn't a problem with the slavery ring, with the child sex trafficking, because the local law enforcement knew how to do it. The sting was so successful that all the guys selling the kids and pushing the kids were like, we got to get out of Colombia. We got to go somewhere else. And so it's a $150 billion industry.
It's insane.
We want to disrupt that. We want to raise $1 million before Christmas. And if we could get 100,000 people to just donate $10, we're there. It's not that hard.
And so the goal for this particular fundraiser is $75,000, I believe, for the bountiful rescue.
Technically, yes, but I want it to be $1 million.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Awesome.
So yeah, check out for that one. If you want to go to the Facebook page, it's Our Bountiful Rescue, or you can go to the website, which is bountifulrescue.org, to make your donations and get involved. It's a really great cause. So thank you for listening in for that part. Let's kind of go into a happier tone.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the cool, exciting world of wilderness survival.
You know, and one thing I wanted to talk about real briefly here is survival in general is a pretty broad topic. Wilderness survival definitely narrows it down to where, you know, we only have an hour to talk here. But one thing I wanted to bring up really quick is just to talk real quick about Paris, what happened there. I don't want to get into detail. Basically, I just want to say and what is coming up, say Trump has brought this up and a few other people have brought this up, is if you have a concealed carry, take it seriously. This is going to be coming to America. Who knows when? And those who carry, those who have the training and the experience, need to take it even more seriously, step up and be aware. And just the thought is, okay, what would have been the outcome? And I don't mean to be insensitive whatsoever. What would have been the outcome in Paris if the government would allow people to carry guns over there?
It would have been much different.
I believe so. And so I just wanted to leave that with you real quick as part of survival, because it really does apply to our survival theme today. In an urban area where most of us live, most of the population lives in big cities. They go to nightclubs, they go to theaters, where all this stuff could potentially happen. So stay aware, get armed if you're not, and get trained.
Absolutely.
So that's all I wanted to say about that.
So let's go into the fun conversation of wilderness survival. And Dan, tell us, first of all, how did you get into wilderness survival? How did you? Where did the interest start?
Did I have any influence on you?
Shane kind of did. He almost did.
Almost.
But you know, we've always been outdoorsy kind of people. That's kind of been our thing, is the outdoors. We got into rock climbing fairly early, and we got into, you know, some fun stuff. We got into some outdoor adventuring.
Skiing in the winter and backcountry skiing and so forth.
But I remember we were in we took the Unified Studies program when we were in high school, and we had a survival trek, I guess you would call it, in wilderness survival. And you know, they give you a launch point where you start from. They give you a map, and you know you're not allowed to bring, you know, food or anything with you. And I remember walking through there just thinking, I am not prepared.
Yeah.
I love the outdoors. I spend a ton of time outdoors, and there is no way that I could survive. There is just no way. You know, I remember walking through the forest and I could like smell onions. I don't know if you remember. You were
I remember
there.
that trip. You know,
But I could smell onions. I'm like, man, I smell onions. I swear, if I could just find those. But can I eat those? I don't know if I can eat those. Would I kill myself if I? You know, so I felt like, man, I am just not prepared, and so that's what started it. So that was when we were 16 years old.
Yeah, and I had a similar experience. Remember when we were in Rock Canyon, coming off of a climb, and we heard some brakes screeching.
Oh, that was American Fork.
American Fork Canyon, excuse me. Yeah, American Fork Canyon. And we heard some brakes screeching, and so we jumped in the truck heading down the canyon. We didn't see anything, and we turned around, came back up, and there's a guy on the side of the road staggering, and he's bleeding everywhere. And we stop, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so we get out, and the truck had gone off the road. These two guys were drunk. The truck had gone off the road. One guy was sitting up in the engine bay. He'd obviously gone through the windshield. And I had no idea what to do. I was completely helpless.
Shocked. Yep, we were shocked.
And so I appreciate your experience. My experience on that trip was, this is easy. But it was just navigation. It was just the navigation part. It was not the survival part. That I thought was easy. I can go a day without food. I'm fine that way. So anyway, go on.
But yeah, you know, it's things like that. It's things that, you know, they made me think. Could I build a fire if I didn't have like I've read about, you know, rubbing two sticks together, but I mean, seriously, could I do that? And I spent a week doing it. I don't know if you remember. We spent a week every day after school with Sid Hatch
trying to build
a fire right there in the school classroom.
Yeah.
And I remember
in the classroom.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we got some smoke in there.
And I remember, like, when I got it, I mean, it was like I just won the lottery. I mean, it was like the coolest thing that ever happened.
We had to get that smoke going and then have to put it out.
Got a fire. I mean, it was a big deal. So
we're going on to a break here, and we'll come back and talk more with Dan and talk about his top 10 list. And I'm sure mine will be much different than Dan's, even though we're very like-minded. We'll be right back.
Is it going okay so far?
Awesome. Yeah, all it's about really is content and energy. Yeah, your energy is easy to keep where it is. I mean, that's just perfect. I mean, it's just who you are. So
The Armory Shooting Range, located at 248
So you got a
West
top 10 list too?
9210 South
Oh, yeah.
in Sandy.
Oh my God.
Utah's
We don't have to go.
gunsmithing
And then his-
and a
I don't
cutting-edge
know.
training
He's
kind of
simulator.
reintroduced him.
Whether you're a beginner or an experienced marksman, the in-depth training, highly
Yeah.
I think
qualified
it'd be fun to
instructors,
take calls.
and custom-designed facilities
Well, yeah,
will
let's-
get you to where
I guess we
you
could
want
do
to be
that.
as
Yeah,
a
let's go through
shooter.
the top
Head
10.
on in
Yeah,
to
so maybe
experience
once-
the newest
once
indoor
we
shooting
introduce
range
him,
in the state.
introduce him again.
Just off the freeway at 248 West 9210 South in Sandy.
Oh,
Online at
okay.
armoryshootingrange.com or call 801-447-1789.
Great.
The Armory Shooting
Have
Range,
what's wrong.
just off the freeway
Let's
at
go through the first 2 or
248
3
West
and say,
9210
callers, we're going to
South
keep
in
on to this
Sandy.
top 10, but if you have a question for Dan.
Is your furnace giving you trouble? Or perhaps you didn't get around to replacing that old AC unit this summer? CTR Heating and Air is the locally owned and operated HVAC company you can trust. Check them out on Angie's List. They're also get
Or just say, hey, get your questions ready, because when we're done with the top 10 list, we're going to
all
open
year
it up
round.
to...
Turn to
we
the
can
experts.
open it
CTR
up
Heating and
to-
Air is an authorized dealer for Carrier, the leading name in furnace and air conditioning
Just tease
systems.
it, I
Yes,
guess.
CTR Heating and Air offers the best
So we
price
gotta
and quality
talk
furnace
about
and
your
AC
size,
equipment,
you know,
but
what
they
you do,
also
you teach
service
classes
most
and so
manufactured
forth.
brands. And CTR will always provide you with a straightforward assessment of the service required to have your furnace or AC unit running smoothly and efficiently. Get ready for the cold weather. Take advantage of CTR's Early Bird Furnace Tune-Up Special for the low price of $39, or a complete furnace diagnostic for only $59, free with any repair. Call today, 801-999-4220. That's 801-999-4220. 801-999-4220. Or visit them online at ctrheatingandair.com.
For some, the Festival of Trees has been a tradition for generations. For others, the Festival of Trees is a tradition waiting to begin. Enjoy 800 decorated Christmas trees, wreaths, centerpieces, gingerbread creations, playhouses, and quilts. Satisfy your sweet tooth with candies, cakes, scones, and sweet rolls. There are activities especially for children, live entertainment, and shopping for gifts. Santa will be there too. The most important part of the Festival of Trees is that every penny raised benefits children at Primary Children's Hospital. Doors open Wednesday, December 2nd through Saturday, December 5th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Southtown Expo Center. Tickets available at the door. $6 per adults, $3 per children ages 2 through 11, $5 per senior citizen. Wednesdays is Family Day, where $18 admits up to 6 immediate family members. Discount tickets can be purchased at most Zions Bank branches. For more information, visit festivaloftreesutah.org.
And welcome back to the PrepperCon Radio Hour here on K-Talk, KTKK. I'm going to throw out the phone number here. We're going to take some questions here in the next segment, maybe the next 5-10 minutes or so. The number 801-254-5855 here for the PrepperCon Radio Show. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about Dan. As I mentioned, Dan had taught some survival classes at the last PrepperCon. He's got a couple of websites I wanted to throw out there. It's livelifesurvival.com. And Dan, what kind of classes do you teach?
So the classes range quite a bit. I do teach, I teach a wild edible plant course. I teach survival shelters. I also teach overnight classes, 3-day classes, and 1-week courses. And those are fun. Those are so much fun. We also teach, survival hunting classes. There's really quite a broad spectrum of courses that are there, but...
So you teach how to, say, dress an animal. Because that's where I lack a lot of knowledge, is actually being able to prepare an animal. And so forth.
That's one that I think will probably be coming up more this winter time, because that's when I get out and do a lot more trapping. And I do offer that course, but it's more of a, okay, I've got an animal, I'm going to teach this. If you're available, come and catch the class.
Right, okay, that makes
So,
sense.
Yeah, it's kind of the only way you can teach it.
Yeah, it's really hard to,
And,
yeah. But I've also made arrangements with the Fish and Game.
Mhm.
They've actually given me permission to collect animals for instruction purposes.
Okay.
Roadkill, that kind of thing.
okay, fantastic.
So I haven't
you'll-
used that yet. I haven't
You'll post that on your site or
needed to.
Facebook or something?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it'll pop up on the website.
Okay, awesome.
Nice.
Another site that Dan has that I personally love, it's called Cloudburst Botanical.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what Dan has actually done is come up with a cold sore remedy from natural herbal ingredients that are located here in Utah.
That's right. I'm a
right?
medicine man. I'm a medicine man.
And let me tell you, I use this stuff, and it works extremely well. I'm just going to plug that real quick there. And my wife uses it, and literally within a day, 2 days max, cold sore is gone.
Yeah, there's no pharmaceuticals in it.
And we keep it in the fridge because it's all natural.
There's no preservatives, so yeah, you keep it in the fridge. But
so check that out, because that's an awesome product. That's all I want to say about it.
I think that points out the fact that how amazing the world we live in is. That really, for most situations, all you need to do is understand the wild, and you can find remedies for just about anything. One of the funniest things is if you can't sleep, if you're struggling with your sleep cycle. I've read study after study that says go spend a week in the woods, because after 5 days your body's rhythmic clock resets.
how
when you
about that?
disconnect from the electronics, when you disconnect from normal society. So that's why my family, we love camping for that very reason. Looks like we've got a caller. Let's go ahead and take that call.
Hello, caller. What's your question? Oh, let me turn you on there. Sorry, I didn't turn you on. Could you start over for me? Go ahead.
What's the website associated with his wild edibles type courses?
It is Live Life Survival. LIVE survival.com. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you for calling. Appreciate it. Now I know I need to turn that telephone on. Anyway, go. Scott, you're talking about. I guess, spending time in the wilderness.
You get that time away from everything and disconnect. It's amazing what it does for your body. Like, we go camping a couple times a year, not as much as I'd like to as a family, but it's usually for like 3 or 4 nights. And I noticed, even after that, I'm a bit better cycle when I get home.
Yeah, I agree. Even just watching a fire, even just the act of watching the fire burn is
therapeutic.
It does have that reset value that you talked about.
Now, here's one question I'd ask you, Dan, is you spend a lot of time in the wilderness alone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, most of your time you're by yourself.
That's correct.
Me, not so much. So what's your reason? Because I know we've had these conversations before where, you get naked and you walk around and you connect with nature.
He goes full Aboriginal.
Absolutely. And then, we talk about the Naked and Afraid television show. And the naked part is not the afraid part, right? So
yeah, that's right.
What's your relation
I'm okay with the naked part. The afraid part, I'm not okay with that.
So you've never really been afraid. I mean, and that basically comes down to knowledge, right?
Well, there have been a couple times where I've been greatly concerned.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you and I are hanging off a cliff, right?
Yeah, I do remember one time. Yeah, that was Ed and Terry. I remember Ed and Terry.
I remember deep back in Rock Canyon.
You know what? Maybe we'll have to come back to that.
A whole other show there.
Let's go back to let's get on that top 10 list.
The list is actually really fun, and the way that I put the list together, all of these items they're fairly affordable. It's not like something that's really going to set you back a lot, but there's 10 of them, so you could be into it easily. $50 or $150. It's
right, and I think the thing with top 10 lists or top 5 lists or whatever list is they're going to be different for everybody. So Dan is coming from his point of experience. I have my own top 10 list that I come from my point of experience, and I guarantee you they're going to be completely different.
Yeah, they will be. And mine is more oriented towards a wilderness survival escape route, if that's the right way to term it. Like if you're having to get out, it's if there's an emergency, even if there's like a natural, a natural kind of catastrophe, your water's shut off. Though, even if you're living in your home environment, it's still incredibly valuable.
Right.
And I should start out first to say that a survival kit, or I like to refer to them as a jump kit, because it's something that you just grab and you jump, you just go. Mm-hmm. But the thing about that is information is much more valuable than the things that are in your kit. So having a knowledge base, a strong knowledge base, is way more valuable. And that's what the classes are all about, is being able to teach you some of this hands-on. And we do, like for the edible plant classes, we go out into the wilderness we find plants and
make a salad.
You can eat whatever you want. That's one of the rules, is you can eat whatever you want. But yeah, let's jump into this.
Yeah,
the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is the pack, the backpack itself. I don't include the pack in the top 10. I'll let you pick the pack that you want. But the thing that I found that is most valuable as far as the pack is concerned is having a pack that is small. Like I brought one.
Okay. Okay, so that's probably, I would call it a day pack.
Yeah, it's
size,
like a day
essentially.
pack. It's
It's got a lot
probably
more pockets. It's got your
12
molly.
inches wide by maybe 20 inches tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 18 to 20 inches tall. It's got 3 chambers, well, actually 4 chambers, 2 major chambers. This is your typical tactical style day pack.
Yeah, and what's great about that is having the extra pockets. You know, the pockets on the outside of it is that you can keep things that you need handy available. You know, instead of having to dig through everything. If that
Yeah,
makes
absolutely. No, I love pack.
All right, so let's get started then. What would you? I'm going to put this out there.
All right, go.
What do you think is the number one item you should have?
You're asking me.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm asking both of you.
Okay, first of all, like you said, items that are not on your list. You said backpack, and I agree. So I've got knowledge, the proper dressing properly,
Okay.
and a backpack before we get to
Yep.
the list. So my number one item is shelter.
Okay.
So whether it be a good Gore-Tex jacket or an actual tarp or something for shelter.
Okay, great. Shelter is your number one concern, obviously. So the first thing that you should have in there is
That's the other thing I've got here.
a fire kit.
Okay, that's your fire
Okay,
kit.
so now I know what you're thinking. Well, that you know, a tarp or a sleeping bag or something like that, you know, would be like. But remember, we're talking about a jump kit here. This is a very small, compact, something you can pack away in your car.
Right, you're
Something
not going to
that's
carry a full-size tent with you.
inconspicuous. That's right. This is something where you don't have a lot of time to prepare, so you just grab it. You know, you just grab the
It's very
small, compact kit. So a fire kit, and a fire kit's going to have at least. And you know, a fire kit's awesome because it is shelter. Fire is a shelter.
Okay.
That's what I put it. You know, I put fire under the category of shelter.
Okay.
Because it actually will keep you protected from the elements.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's great, especially you're under a nice big pine or something like that. and
Yep. Yeah.
You got your fire there, and
Well,
Yep.
if you're in the wilderness, there's so many different techniques you can use to create shelter. But even watching the TV shows, which most of the time are totally overrated and they just blow things way out of proportion.
Yeah.
for
The
entertainment
priorities are always shelter and fire.
Yeah.
You know, they're synonymous, really. Shelter, a fire is shelter.
Yep. Fire
You
is
know,
shelter.
It helps you stay warm. It helps you stay dry.
Gives you confidence.
Gives you confidence. Gives you peace of mind.
And it keeps the boogeyman away. And I make fun of
That's
that
true.
in my classes all the time. But you know what? It really does. That fear of the unknown or the dark or, you know, you're by yourself. I mean, the boogeyman is, you know, fake when we're here in this nice studio or in your nice home. But when you're out there, you know, it's like, well... But anyway, so a fire kit, that should have...
So what do you have in your fire kit? Real quick, what's in your fire kit?
A lighter.
Okay,
All right,
awesome.
so you have a lighter, matches, and you should have at least 2 forms of fire making, if that makes sense. So you
It's like
and
ferro rod, magnesium.
ferro rod or whatever it is that you're comfortable
What
using.
you've learned, absolutely.
So you know, I've given on 3-day adventures, I've given a ferro rod and or magnesium stick to students and said, okay, well, we have fire here, you know, and they think, oh, terrific, this is great, and you know what? Nobody can use it.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to use it. It's one of those things where if you have it in your kit, then make sure you know how to
Practice
use
with
it.
it.
So
Absolutely.
a lighter is really easy to use.
What
Match
about
is really
tinder?
easy to use.
Tinder? Do you have some sort of tinder like
Nope.
no, you find your own tinder?
You just make so you know there's the amount of things that you can put in a kit are literally limitless.
Right.
So we're going to take it down to just the basics.
So what about just a fire starter, like cotton soaked in?
No.
Nothing. You don't have it.
No
Okay,
fire starter.
I do. Anyway, keep going.
So
Makes it
this-
a little bit easier for me.
So you're talking. So this is a kit that is incredibly small. This
Right,
is a
just
kit
a small
that is
little
just smaller than that. It's like the size of a credit card is probably too big. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Something tiny is what you're looking for. All
All right, number 2
right, number 2. Guess what it is?
for me, water filter.
I'm a knife guy.
Oh,
Well,
okay, all right.
Knives
That-
out there too, but you gotta have water.
So that's true, but you know what? There's some things associated with shelter and other utilitarian purposes, and you know what? But that would be number 2 and number 3 are really close. So
Okay.
number 3 on my list was a water filter.
Okay.
Okay, but number 2 is a razor knife.
Okay, and that's one thing that I know you always carry a razor knife.
I always have a razor.
I always carry a knife, but it's not a razor knife.
Yes, you need to convert.
Why? Why should we convert?
Exactly. I've been trying to convert Dan too to like a big 5-inch survival knife. You know, a big quarter-inch thick.
In my jump bag, if you want to call it that, I've got a 96-hour kit, basic kit for me, but I've got a kukri blade in it.
Okay.
Nice
I love it. It's a cold steel kukri blade. It's a short machete for those of you who don't know what it is.
With
a nice curved blade.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Super rigid, super great. I mean, you can split wood with it. You can carve with it.
You can't gotta fish with it though.
I bet I could. Give me a chance.
Yeah, you probably could.
Well,
I'll do it.
Anyway, Dan, keep going.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing with the razor knife. Everybody thinks that's silly, you know, when they pull out their razor knives or their survival knives, and it's this big, you know, combat type. And mine is like this little tiny little tiny razor knife. But when you break down survival, the basic part of survival down to what you really need a knife for, you need it for really precise, intricate cuts. You know, if you're building snares, if you're building traps, shelter. I don't worry about a shelter. I don't need an axe. I can't even remember the last time I used a tool to build a shelter. You can do that with just stuff that's around. You don't have to use a tool, period. You know, for a survival type shelter. But getting those refined cuts, those super defined cuts, and not only that, but I mean, it is incredibly useful. I've processed an entire elk with a razor knife.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow.
Cleaned it,
with the same
processed it with the same blade. You know, the blades are really good. I prefer the Lennox blades. They're really, really good. Nice. And I prefer the Nebo brand of the razor knife because they give you a little bit more working edge. But yeah, you know, what you really need a knife for is very precise, very detailed cuts.
And that's really contrary to what you hear, you know, in the, kind of the mainstream survivalists. Get that nice big, you know, nice big knife. But, you know, what about firewood? I mean, I know that, you know, a lot of people use large knives for batoning, for cutting branches off, for splitting firewood.
And splitting firewood, I mean, is a complete waste of time. It's really a complete waste because, to be honest with you, when you're burning a log, if you're burning the entire log, I don't care how big the diameter is, if it's 2 inches or 5 inches, once you split that, it's going to burn really, really quick. For the most part, in survival situations, you want that fire to last as long as you possibly can. So I don't even split anything. I don't break logs. I'll put 3 logs kind of all pointed in the fire pit and leave them hanging out as long as they are. And I just gradually move them in closer and closer. You know,
don't just waste that energy.
Yeah, that's just it. You know, fire's a great tool. And use it. You know, I mean, use the fire for its greatest potential. So,
all right, yeah, let's keep moving on. I guarantee you we're not going to get to these top 10. We are running out of time.
So number 3 was the water filter, and I prefer. I don't care what brand it is. I bought a cheap one from China for, I think it was $30.
Just know how to use it.
It's a ceramic filter. Okay. That's the difference. I do prefer ceramic filters because they're easy to clean in the field.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And they are more resilient to dropping or freezing and so forth.
Well, they typically have a higher filtration rating, and they have a longer filtration life. So I use usually triple stage filters with ceramic in there. One of my favorites is Renovo. It's a straw, but it's also, you can cap it onto a bottle. I mean, you can gravity feed water. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, I think you've got to have a filter that you're able to clean it in the field.
Yeah.
Yes, something
if you can't, it's going to clog and you're going to have more problems.
Yeah, and I've run into that before where it clogs up on the trip, and I just open it up, clean it, and it works great.
Now, to be honest, Dan, I thought you were going to say, nope, I don't carry a water filter.
Well, that's just it. Our systems, our first world systems cannot tolerate a lot of things that are in the water. You know, and being sick is almost a death sentence.
All right, we're coming up on another break here. Like I said, we've been running out of time, but we'll come right back and get back to this top 10 list.
We're going to have to keep moving.
Yeah. You know, I think it's okay. Let's go through and just hit your 10 items real quick, and then go back to number 4 and talk back in detail.
Yeah. It's talk. I think for radio purposes, for an hour-long show, going forward, we should stick to the
Hi, this
top
is Alan
box.
Blood with Capital Financial.
Because 10 is
With
so
home values
got
increasing and low rates still available, now is the perfect time to refinance your home. Capital Financial Group, we have loan programs.
But you know what? There are
Refinance
things that,
whether
like
you
in
want
top
to cash
10,
out from
10
your
is
home,
where we can
increase your
stop.
interest
The
rates
other
on
ones
monthly
are...
payment, or just reduce your loan to a 15-year payoff. We have programs
even I
that
know
will help
Dan
you
was saying
refinance,
you
even
only
if your
really takes like
income or
3
credit
days.
is less than it used to be, or if
After
you're
your
underwater
knife,
on your
your fire
mortgage.
kit,
Instead of
and-
getting lost
I don't
and
usually-
stuck
I don't
with a
usually
big
take-
bank,
well,
paying
sometimes
high
I'll
fees
take a
at credit
lighter.
union,
But I
Pulse
hope
will
it
help you
breaks.
refinance with the best rates and lowest
So
closing
you
costs.
can
If
build your own,
qualify
keep
for
it
one
on
of our
for
no
backup.
closing costs.
Yeah,
loans.
just
focus
Call
on
me
the
today.
boat first.
Alan
That's what I
Blood.
need to do.
Especially if you have the time
587.
to do it.
Start
And I
saving
think a
money
lot of
on your
people
mortgage now.
are not thinking, you know, one of my
801,
survival wisdoms I'm going to
5887,
create is you know,
1011.
fire building. Oh, stop, let's reset this. And
Yeah,
it works
my
every
friend
time.
Smiley about
But
taxdebtpros.com,
you obviously
a
you still need
local
the knowledge.
Utah
You need
full-service
to learn
tax
how.
resolution
You gotta
company.
talk
The
to them and
professionals at taxdebtpros.com did a free case analysis and explained everything to me clearly in a language I can understand. They got right to work, and now I'm paying a small portion of what I did before. The best part is I got my life and smile back.
Do you have IRS problems? The local experts at TaxDebtPros.com assist business owners and individuals in resolving tax issues. They can help reduce your tax debt and penalties, assist with IRS audits, stop wage garnishment, tax liens and levies, and prepare unfiled tax returns. Get help now. TaxDebtPros.com will completely handle your case with the IRS and take your stress away so you can start smiling again. Visit them online at TaxDebtPros.com or call them today, 801-878-0363 to schedule your free case analysis.
I recently met with a homeowner who was ready to retire but felt trapped in his job. His retirement funds had gone down substantially over the last few years, and he needed the income from his job to make payments on his home. In reviewing his options, he realized a reverse mortgage would pay off his current loan, give him some money to take care of much-needed repairs, and eliminate his monthly mortgage payment completely. If you own your home, you're 62 or older, you may qualify for a reverse mortgage that will help you meet your retirement goals. I have years of experience helping Utah homeowners who will help you find the right solution for your financing needs. With a 10-minute call, I can help you find out how you qualify and how reverse mortgage will go. Call me today, Alan Blood, 298-5887. That's Alan Blood, Capital Financial, 801-298-5887, and MLS number 3146.
Here's a program reminder from Canyon Creek Assisted Living and Memory Care. Canyon Creek is co-sponsor of the K-Talk Season Citizens Hour, now at 12:05 Saturday afternoon. This is Rich Dixon, host of the program, and we'll be telling you this week about active folks over age 55 who are still making things happen. Ideas about health, wealth, and wisdom, and news from Canyon Creek. They're at 7235 Union Park Avenue, described by its residents and their families in glowing terms. Quote, I've never seen a speck of dust at Canyon Creek. It's close to popular stores and is immaculately clean. A real creek runs through the garden. Lots of fresh air. It's beautiful. They fulfill requests for certain food for my grandmother, and I'm so pleased. To reach Canyon Creek, call 801-568-9909. Arrange a tour of the Canyon Creek facilities and listen to the radio show now, Saturdays at 12:05.
It's pretty interesting stuff.
And welcome back to PrepperCon Radio Hour here with Dan Whiting of Live Life Survival and Cloudburst Botanical. We are talking about our top 10 list of wilderness survival items of what you should have in your, what we call, or what Dan calls a jump pack when you go out into the wilderness.
Yeah.
And I guess when you go out, it's pretty specific. You have a pretty specific task you want to get in. You're trying to do. You say, I'm going to go out and I'm going to practice this. I'm going to learn this.
Yeah, wilderness survival to me, at least, is an incredibly fun recreational activity, and it's fun for everybody. And that's what's so great about this list is, we'll get to our top 10, we'll finish that off, but what's fun is that, now you can go out and take out number 10. Mm-hmm. Then you can go out again and take out number 9. And what it does is teach you self-reliant skills to where now I feel comfortable going out with
3 items.
Nothing really. I don't really need those things. I'm not tied to them. I'm not committed to them.
That's a
You
great
can say you're not crippled by things, right? You've got the skills and the mindset now that you can actually overcome those challenges. That plays big into our fourth item or concept of survival, or pillar, I should say, of survival for PrepperCon is thrive. Yeah. To be able to go through any situation and just handle it. And it's not that big of a deal, and it becomes that once you've trained.
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
Can learn to live
biggest
with
thing
less.
to focus on,
All
yeah.
of this is designed to train you. The jump kit is designed to train you to become self-sufficient in any situation.
That's awesome.
So,
Fantastic. All right.
anyway, all right.
Next item.
What are we on, 4?
4, yeah.
All right, number 4 is a first aid kit.
Okay, awesome.
And it should be tiny. It shouldn't be bigger than an index card. And it really should have just maybe some, we're not looking to, it's not a paramedic type kit. This is just a really simple basic kit. But the most important thing you should have in there is, and the reason why it's so high on the list is it needs to have your personal or your family's personal medications. If they require medications or insulin or, things like that. That's why it's a little higher on the list is...
Right, because you can deal with a cut here or there.
Yeah, that's...
But, and me, I tend to go more toward the heavy side and preparing for traumas.
Yeah.
Larger bandages and gauze and so forth.
Which is probably what you should be prepared, what should be in your kit, the heavy trauma type thing, something that will take care of, heavy bleeding. Scratches and stuff, they're fine, you'll be okay. But yeah, it's the bigger things that you want that for.
Okay, what I'm thinking is let's go through your list fairly quickly before we run out of time and just touch on the top 10.
Okay.
And then we'll come back to number 5 and talk more in detail.
So, number 5, a solar charger for your phone.
Oh, okay.
It's an emergency requirement. I mean, if you're
no,
out
that's
there,
true.
plus, not only that, but it helps you keep in communication with the outside world if the need arises.
So you're not going all caveman. You're concerned about your own personal safety, especially when you're out by yourself.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
You should always have a cell phone. You never know what would happen. Things can come up.
I guess there's no reason not to.
Number 6.
Plus you want to take pictures that you can tweet out, right?
I'm trying to get to number 6.
Sorry.
Number 6.
Number 6. You're never going to guess what this one is.
Some cordage.
A small jar of peanut butter.
Are you talking glass jar or the plastic? Or
Plastic jar.
That's for your bait, right?
You can get them at the dollar store. This little tiny jar of peanut butter. And what it is awesome emergency food. I mean, it's great in fat, high in sugars, oils. I don't care if it's organic, doesn't matter. Your body will use it no matter what. But what's great is that, it's an awesome bait for bringing in pretty much any animal in the world. Everything is attracted to it.
Yeah, that's how I catch mice in my house.
I mean, do you like peanut butter sandwiches?
Oh, I love
Who
peanut
doesn't?
butter sandwiches.
It'll attract a human. All right, so number 7, wire snares.
Okay, I knew that was going to be on your list somewhere.
Yep, so these are something you can make yourself. You don't have to buy them. I make them all the time. Number 8, a piece of plastic or a tarp.
Okay.
Some kind of,
a
a
thick
sheet.
mill,
Yeah, like a... Yeah, like
contractor
a...
grade, whatever you want to call it.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Okay.
Something like that is going to be awesome for a lot of different reasons. Number 9 is a pot.
Okay.
You know what? I let people choose on the survival trips what they can bring. They can bring 2 items on the survival trip. And I still haven't had anybody bring a pot. And I would just love if somebody brought a pot. They're so useful. And number 10 is a cooking kit.
Okay.
Now, a cooking kit, all that contains is a small bottle or small container with salt, a small container with sugar, and a small container with oil.
Okay.
I prefer olive oil, but you know what? I'll leave it up to you.
And I guess you really have 17 items on this list.
I do. This list is...
And that's the thing is, lists, you don't have to stick to 10 items, you don't have to stick to 17 items. You stick whatever fits in your pack. Whatever you want in your
Well,
pack.
it also matters. The other thing people need to think about is what is the terrain they're going into? What is the wildlife like? What you take into the wilderness in Utah or what you put in your jump pack for what your situation is may be different from Florida or from...
Absolutely.
Do you have a lot of venomous snakes you have to deal with? Maybe take a snake bite kit.
Well, these pros, Bear Grylls and Les Stroud, they always scout out their routes first. They talk to the locals. They learn how to survive in that particular environment, and so it's definitely particular to where you're going and the season as well.
Yeah, but these, the things that I've just mentioned, they're very basic,
They should always
and
be
they
there.
will work literally everywhere. And so what's great is, as you start to train yourself with these items, as you go out and train with them, and as you start to reduce the amount of items that you're taking as you go out, as you become more and more well-versed in what you're studying, man, I can't tell you the kind of freedom that provides. I mean, I feel when I go out in the wilderness, I feel free. I feel like I finally can connect. And I'm not bound to the wilderness with like things, you know what I mean? Like I'm not worried about my tent. I'm not worried about my, you know, things like that. I don't need those things to enjoy myself. And it gives you just an incredible amount of freedom.
Yeah, I've known Dan for a lot of years, and he's very carefree. You know, he does his thing, he does his work, and he doesn't worry.
Yes, nothing.
And
really
I think
bothers
that's
me.
probably brought on a lot by your own personal training experience being in the wilderness.
I would think so. I mean, it does. You know, it does kind of spill over into everyday life. I mean, it's a training that stays with you into every aspect of your life.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, let's go back. Oh, Scott, you're going to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, it's interesting because you practice a lot, right? You go, I mean, it also helps that you're a teacher, but it comes back to the principle of you use it or lose it. Mm-hmm. If you're not using these skills, if you're not practicing, if you're not honing those skills, you lose those skills, you know, and that's the reality. Like, I've lost a lot of my foraging skills from what I remember as a kid to now. Like, I would probably die because I'd make a mistake.
Well, surviving in the wilderness is difficult. It's not, I mean, a lot of these preppers out there think, okay, you know what, if it hits the fan, if something happens, I'm heading to the woods, I'm heading to the wilderness. And it's not that easy.
Oh no, and no. That's the thing, especially when plants are involved. Like I thought, well, maybe when I first started, I thought, well, maybe I'll learn like the 5 basic plants, you know, something simple, and I've gone way over. I'm now up to close to 100 plants that I don't just recognize them, but I know them. I know how they feel. I know how what their textures are. I've used them in, you know, hundreds of different recipes. So.
Including diddly nightshade, right?
You're talking about death camas.
Death camas. That's okay. Yeah, he tried that once.
That wasn't cool.
Big mistake.
It's called death camas for a reason.
It brings up a good point. You know, you have to know what you're getting into. You have to educate yourself. You know, if you're wanting to get in on the conversation, please call in. The number's 801-254-5855. We're almost out of time.
I know Dan would love to take some questions.
Hey, and that death camas, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Well, he wants to experience everything, Dan. He needs that freedom, that experience.
Yeah, and it was fun. I mean, it was not that experience, but you know, survival in general is just a fun. I can't think of a more wholesome activity. Something that not only that, but has like these benefits that go way beyond just the wilderness.
And I think my kids would be on the complete opposite side, opposite page of you.
Mine are too.
The fun thing though is, even if you're Mr. Tech Gadget and, you know, a person of the world, right?
Yeah.
And by that I mean urban jungle. You know, most of us live in urban areas or suburban areas, and we don't have the daily connection with the wild. I think this would be a great challenge for people. You know, get your buddies involved. You know, husbands and wives challenge each other. You know, take Dan's class, or if you think you can do it on your own, go do it on your own. See what your real skill set is. This would be fun. Why don't they have, you know, a National Association of Wilderness Survival that's its own sporting event? Like, why aren't we on ESPN
Oh yeah,
too?
no kidding. I wish. Yeah, well, I'm working on a small project like that. But
he's like me. We've always got something in the works.
But yeah, I mean, those are the things that really you're learning something cool. You're adapting. You're overcoming, and it's something that you could share. And if we had more resources like that, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing about it is that, I mean, it translates over into an urban environment so easy. Mm-hmm. You know, if things were to go south, if, you know, you weren't able, you know, you weren't able to find food, there is so much food in empty lots, in your yard, in your lawn right now. There's probably 5 different species of plants.
Yeah, every time I see a dandelion, I think, oh, dinner salad.
Well, I find dandelions disgusting, but sorry, all of those health food people. All those health food people are going to get mad now because they love the dandelion.
They're good for you,
and you can eat them.
They're nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the worst. But there are so many plants that are so much better, that taste so much better, and what's great is their nutritional value far exceeds anything that you'll find in the grocery store. I mean, you know, your kales, your spinaches, your what they call superfoods are nothing compared to what you find in the wilderness.
And I think you've proven your point by creating your cold store remedy, right?
Oh yeah, that's something that it's one of those things where, the cures are out there. I mean, it's possible to find these things. It's just a matter of putting them into practice. And it took me 5 years to do. I mean, it took me 5 years to figure out, but just with sticking to it and figuring it out, it happens.
Awesome.
All right, listeners, here's your challenge. If you think you can survive, if you can hack it out in the woods, why don't you go out and get yourself a picture while you're out there? Take your little, your pack, whatever you put in it, get a picture, post it on our social media page. Go to facebook.com/KTalk. Post your pictures. Tag us in it. Let us know what you like in your list, what you like in your pack. Get out there, get involved, make this fun, because really, prepping, survival, all of it, it's a way of life.
And we've got about 30 seconds left here in the show. Another thing I wanted to bring up is on our Facebook pages for PrepperCon as well as Prepared Guy, we're doing some giveaways for the Christmas season.
Yes.
We're doing autographed books by author G. Michael Hopp. We're doing some giveaways from Ready Man, classes as well as tools and so forth.
We've got credit card knives. We've got 11 toolkits that are credit card tools. Yep. We've got some water filtration bottles.
Ready Man is going to be giving away subscriptions to their service. And we're going to keep going, and we're going to have more and more sponsors doing giveaways. So come like us on Facebook. Check out PrepperCon.com as well as Live Life Survival. And
now the list that we just gave will be published on Live Life Survival and the Facebook page.
Yeah, we'll put it on Facebook. We'll put it on the
whole 17 list though.
Yes, I'll give you the whole list.
You're going to get the whole list if you go to the website. What's the website again?
LiveLifeSurvival.com.
And I'll share it as well on Prepared Guy, and we'll put it on PrepperCon.
Yep, it'll be on PrepperCon
too. Yeah. And thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you being on air with us.
No problem.
You're awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you, Dan. And we'll see you guys next week at the same time.
Wow, an hour goes fast.
It does. Dude,
you're awesome.
That was fun.
I like being in the captain's seat.
Bye-bye.